this right here. All right. Good morning, you two.
Good morning.
And how y'all doing this morning?
Doing good. How you doing?
We're here.
I'm
Right.
doing good. So respect.
Yeah.
Man, I watched the movie and it was things in that movie I did not know about Aretha Franklin. I mean, it brought out some stuff, and I said, "You got to be," because she went through all that, and was able to get on stage and able to get out there and sing, and it was something else to see the movie. And now we got a play with y'all doing it, and it's just remarkable. That's all I'm gonna say is just plain remarkable. So
Thank you.
before we get going, introduce yourselves.
You can-
I'm Demaya, and I'm one of the featured singers.
And I'm Christina Ray, and I am the lead vocalist.
Oh, okay, okay. So, questions came in to me when people say I was going to have you on the show. Some of the cast members on the show. One of the first question was, how does this tribute differ from other tributes to Aretha Franklin?
It's celebrating her and it's paying homage to her in the best light possible because she did go have a lot of life triumphs and everything. But this one is about her music that was played on the radio and also about the music that was not played on the radio. And some of that music that was not played deserved to have been played.
Definitely.
I have been pulling up some of her songs. It's hard to find some of her music, but I've been pulling it up and I've been playing it. We grew up with Aretha Franklin back in the days, and I'm gonna say it was Saturday mornings because we had that radio station WNOV in Chicago and WVON in Milwaukee, and we
Okay.
would get up and listen to that station because we knew they were playing the black music and
Yes.
a lot of Motown. Then Aretha snuck in there and a few
Yep.
others, and when she came out with that song, which is a tribute, what you're doing, respect, everybody's jaws just dropped when that song came out. And I'm saying, and then watching how she came out when she wrote that song, people need to see that movie and see how she wrote that song.
Absolutely.
And then they didn't know what to put at the end of. Then they doing re. I said, look at them go.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, that part right there. Oh yeah. So how do you incorporate her songs into the show?
Well, because we're telling her story, like I know people expect to come and it be a play or a musical, but it's an actual celebration. So the audience is allowed to celebrate with us. But the songs connect to her story, and there's a reason why. Like, she grew up in church, so that's the reason why Amazing Grace, Precious Lord. But and it just you can see how she grew up carries through all of her music and it never fades away. Like
Mhm.
church and gospel is always in all of it, no matter if it's disco, pop, R&B, it's still soulful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with
And I
all
just
of that.
think every song has a meaning. And then it's just coming to see us telling the story and it going into a certain song. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
like even her writing one song about one guy and then writing another song about another guy, and you being like,
She had a discography just on breakups and
Yeah.
relationships. I'm like, give me that one.
yeah.
Give me that.
She said, I'm gonna get my money through this.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
she was not knowing her, but seeing some things. She seemed like a very down to earth young lady, and
Absolutely.
she was ahead of her time.
Yes.
Oh,
Nobody
yes,
knew
definitely.
she's gonna be called the Queen of Soul.
Nope.
Nobody. Do you know the history of how she get called? How she got called the Queen of Soul?
Ooh, that's a good
Ooh,
question.
that is a wonderful question. I think that's still kind of, I think
Yeah,
that's still a question in general. I think it was just more of like, y'all,
she influenced a
she's
lot
just
of
the queen
people.
of soul, like soul in
Yeah,
general. Yeah.
her and James
Yeah.
Brown, they got those names that you can't take away. Nobody can add to it. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Don't compare it because there's no comparison.
It's
No,
not.
there's not.
She's on a whole different level. I'm just gonna say
Absolutely.
that. She's on
And
a
I
whole.
think it was like it's a like Aretha was at heart gospel, but even when she did her pop, it was still gospel. I'm like, that was possible,
That's Queen of
a
Soul.
gospel pop.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Right.
one of them because she put her foot in every one of these songs, and
Oh,
oh, I love
I
it.
was listening to Freeway of Love and I was like, girl, you so old and soulful because this is
Yes.
supposed to be a disco song.
She said,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah. She. Oh man.
yes.
The one song that I like that touched everybody, "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman."
Oh, yes,
When she
yeah,
sung that song right there, even though it wasn't a church song, it was a church song.
yep,
Right.
yep.
Because if
Hmm.
you listen to the instruments in the background, you like sit in the back pew, listen to the song, and you want to stand up and see who's singing that.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
That's exactly how it is. It starts dun, 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 dun. I said, oh.
I know the beginning and the musician she had and all
Hmm.
that. It was just like chemistry.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand chemistry.
Nope.
Chemistry could make you or break you.
I just said that this morning.
You definitely
I
did.
just said that
You
this
definitely
morning.
did.
Really.
Absolutely. I
So,
was talking about our band with the vocalists. Like, we have to be one. It's not the vocalists and then the band. We are the entire show. And
mm,
hearing Aretha, she was normally a part of the band, playing the keys and singing.
Yeah.
But that's when they started allowing her to play the keys because they felt like that was too masculine back in the day. When they finally allowed her to play the keys and perform or to record, that's when all the heavy hitters came out.
Yeah.
And
mm.
had she done that ahead of her time, like earlier, she would have been Queen of Soul, Queen of R&B,
Right.
Queen of Gospel. Probably she would
Oh,
have been everything.
I think I want to add to that because you don't find a lot of vocalists that can play for
Yep.
themselves, but also still be able to connect with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I found a lot of like people that, oh, their management took it away and was like, actually, we're just going to get you a player,
Yep.
but it's because it guards. But Aretha, she can still connect and
Mm-hmm.
play. And I
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
think that's a wonderful and beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she did her thing too. But let's go back to chemistry again.
Uh-huh.
How is that chemistry with the cast right now? Is there a nice, good flow with the staff? And who's the practical joker? There's one in every cast.
That's kind of hard because we all Southern. And Southern people
Yeah.
just naturally
Funny.
just funny.
I,
But cast wise, I think we bond really well. I think
yeah,
we just naturally just was like, we're comfortable around each
yeah,
other.
we going to work.
Yeah.
And we I know the girls, so there are two other girls, um, Tiana and Jamaria. They are also with us. We've been rehearsing since last week together,
Mhm.
but we all auditioned on the same day and we're in the same group at some point of the audition. So we already sort of clicked there, which was like in October.
That had to be October,
The
September.
audition
Wow.
was in October, so it's definitely been different because I am used to being around guys. I was born and raised around guys, but I'm just like, oh, they're just little sisters, so that's
Yeah.
cool. Because they definitely knock on my door when they feel like
Last night.
it.
You got her rolling over there.
Because it's funny.
She
It's
laughs at me
funny.
all day long.
I do. We
So
love
that's
her.
comedian then. We're gonna name her the
This
comedian of
is
the
we
cast.
gonna say this is head comedian.
Oh,
She said, yeah,
Oh.
she just say whatever, and I love it. You better be honest,
I'm
man.
just Southern.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, how did her music influence future generations of singers and musicians?
I know for me, I am I am very short. I don't say that often, but I am short. And when people hear my voice, it's really big and it's always been big, even when I was a kid. But like people like Aretha Franklin give you like it makes you proud to have the voice that you have because mostly they want you to shut up and be quiet in the
Yeah,
back. But Aretha was like, who? Like,
right. She
you
right
want me to
there.
be quiet? You want me to sing that music? That's not what I sing. That's not how I feel it. And I just love the fact that she like she's paved the way to be who you are as a black woman, but our voices are unique. And Aretha was one of those, you said I can't do it, watch me. And so she just gave us gave me permission to be okay with being
Hmm.
with using my entire body, my entire voice as a vocalist, but also as a performer, to use my entire essence of who I am, because normally people go on stage and they're completely disconnected to who they are off
Right.
stage. And
Hmm.
Aretha was just Aretha. That purse she carried, that was Aretha. Like,
Right.
she Riri on and off stage. So it was, she gave me permission to be who I am unapologetically.
Yeah, I
So
love that. I also want to add, I feel like a lot of my generation, younger people need to see the show specifically because they need to know where the music started and came from. I feel like over time, what's popular, because you can find the artists that are doing it and that are singing down, but what's popular, it's kind of just laid back, chill,
yes,
and it's not giving real vocalists, you
yeah,
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
something about like being in the 60s, 80s, that era had more joy and feel and a connection. And adding to like her giving us freedom, we don't just get up there and sing like this is our gift, we have a connection to it,
mm-hmm,
this is why we do it. It's not for us, it's for the people. Like
mm-hmm,
we don't, like at the end of the day we could get up there and sing and not know what we did, but if they were touched, that's all that matters. I'm not going to sit
absolutely.
and be like, oh my god, like I didn't sing it like this. Who cares? Like it's what I feel and it's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm allowing the audience to feel, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you're right. I grew up in that era right there, and like I said before, we couldn't wait for black music to come out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, and then back then, that song stayed on a chart for months.
Yes.
Not like today, number one
One
on
week.
Right.
Monday, and number zero,
She
number
said
one
no.
hundred on Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah,
And the
Yeah.
lyrics back then was written that was it was meaningful. It was something that
yes.
people went through. It was the times of things that was going on, like which lead
Hmm.
into this next question. How does a show honor contribution to civil rights and social justice?
Oh,
Oh, they tell
yeah.
the we're telling the story regarding that. We like Aretha was an activist, but Aretha was home girl, like homeboys and homies with the people who were leading these marches. Martin Luther King Jr., Sam Cooke, like she was sitting at home talking to them. You want something to drink? Like just
I'm like,
a
girl,
actual relationship, but also like, okay, it's time for us to go march. It's time for us to do this. And I feel like we don't have anyone doing that nowadays. Like we just have people going with the flow of their record label, doing what
Yeah.
they say that they can do. And a lot of times all of change normally comes from music. That is why today's music does not feel good to your body. It doesn't sound good to the ears. The music that Aretha had, it felt good, it sounded good, and it made you want to love or it made you want to fight. That her intention of the song was exactly how you felt. And so I feel like even her taking Bridge Over Troubled Water, a song
Mm.
that Sam Cooke had to fight to sing, she still sang it after he passed. And I
Yeah.
felt like she was like, y'all may have taken him, but you're not taking me.
right.
So what you gonna do now? Because I'm not only putting my own spin on it, but I'm also bringing more light to the fact that it needs to come. No, that was Bridge Over. It was Bridge Over Troubled Water. Change gonna come.
Change
That's
gonna
what it
come. That's
is.
what it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Change gonna come. And she's like, with the song Change Gonna Come, you just it's almost sounds like it's four different people singing every verse, but it's just her telling the story in a bigger
Yes.
way every time she sang another verse. And so, oh, I'm getting chills.
I
But
know.
I just felt like Sam Cooke was honored while he was here, and she didn't wait to give him his flowers like after he was no longer here. She was singing his music and he was still here. He gave her
Yeah.
permission to do it. So I love that aspect.
You know,
Oh,
and some of the songs back then reflect on today.
yes.
It really does, because I would
Mhm.
play Sam Cooke's song "A Change Is Gonna Come," and I
Mm-hmm.
would play that before the election. I said, in order for change to come, you have to get out and vote.
Yep.
You have to.
Yep.
Yeah, so I feel you on that one because that see wrote things that was meaningful was from the heart. It
Absolutely.
wasn't like I'm gonna jot this down and I'm gonna get a hook and the hook gonna sell
Right.
my
Right.
song, and that's what they've been doing,
Yes.
sampling and hooks.
And they don't even have bridges anymore in the music today. And the bridges were almost like the summary or the soliloquy
Right.
of the
You be
entire
waiting to
song.
get to the bridge. I'd be like,
Yes,
okay, what you about to do now, friend?
exactly. And it just goes to the next
Like,
chorus. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're a cheater. This is not music. This is a poem.
right.
You know, James Brown was singing songs, and he was saying, "Hit this note, give me the
Yes.
bridge." He was telling this what he was doing, and
Yes.
somebody said, "What is he talking about?" I said, "You don't understand music.
Mm-mm.
That's what he's talking about."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite Aretha Franklin song? Both of you.
It was.
I'm a settle on Freeway of Love for now.
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
rock steady.
Freeway and Rocksteady. Mine is um mine would have to be Sweet Baby. And it's called The Wait, but it's about Nazareth. And that song, it's so funky.
Damn.
It's like a bang 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 bang.
It's
Like
so
one of those.
funky, but I'm like,
It's
yes.
so funky. The band makes it funky. It
Yeah,
I love it. I
I
love
feel
it.
you on that. You know, um, I think Aretha hit. She was always there,
Yes.
but when she was in the movie with the Blues Brothers,
Mhm.
and she sung that song "Respect."
Yeah.
I mean, everybody just went wild. She came out singing that, hands on her hip, like a
Yes.
typical black woman. You better not let her put her hands on her hip because she can ready to tell you something, and you need to listen. And she
Yes.
came out and told him, and he still took off.
See,
Right.
that's because they didn't know what they had.
They
They
Yeah,
didn't know what they had.
yeah.
Just
Hmm.
until the audition.
Hmm.
And I was
Oh,
like,
really?
dang. Because one of our audition songs was Think. And I was just being nosy going on YouTube. And I was like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it sure was. So,
Yeah.
if Aretha Franklin was around today, what do you think she would say about this tribute?
Ooh, I think
I didn't even think about that.
if she were
That's so
here,
funny.
I think she would be proud. She would say beautiful gowns. But I think she would also she would be proud, but she would definitely be a I would ask her personally for some constructive criticism so that I could be as amazing as she was as a person and an artist,
Right.
Yeah,
because the voice is one thing, but when you have the personality and the heart that complement the gift, I feel like that's the whole gift. Like
yeah.
that is the entire package right there. But I would ask her for constructive criticism, and she would probably get the band together if I'm being honest. But that's about it.
Well, well, I'm
She'd be
waiting
like,
for
it
that.
was in this key,
I
in
need
this
this rhythm.
tempo.
Right.
I can hear that.
In
right
other words,
now.
she'll come and take over, basically.
Yes, I would let her.
I gotta play the piano.
Exactly. Give me this.
Yeah, wait a minute, wait a minute. No, 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 right over here. And I
Yeah,
would
she's like,
love,
where is a real piano? What is this keyboard?
yeah, bring out that baby grand.
Exactly.
Yes.
I need all of it. Not this. Plug in.
Yeah, but technology had changed a lot where you get a
Yes,
lot
it
more instruments up
has.
there than you used to before. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
well, how can fans, what are the fans saying when you go out and do this show? You get any feedback from the fans?
Not yet because our opening is on Monday. And but the producers and the team that we have, the creative team, they're like, "Oh my gosh, do you really?" Our
Ooh.
director is British, so he's always like, "Oh my gosh, do you realize how amazing you are?" And I'm like,
Listen.
"Thank you, I really appreciate it." Like if the producers are happy, then that's huge. But
Right.
we maybe we get to talk to you after Monday to tell you how it was.
Right. I think the only thing we can really say is our friends and family are really excited to see the
Absolutely.
show
Okay.
and are already set to come see it.
Absolutely.
Well, you go ahead, and I want to hear from y'all after the show.
We would love
Yes, of
that.
course.
We would
I
love
definitely
to.
want to hear from y'all after the show. So I want to see what's going on because y'all gonna be here in San Antonio
On
Yes.
Tuesday.
on Tuesday. So
Yes.
you know, I'm gonna try to break the engagement that I already scheduled for Tuesday. I'm gonna try to break it so I come see y'all.
Oh, we
Uh,
would love that.
I would
Yeah.
love to come see y'all, and if they let me come backstage, I'll come backstage.
I'm sure you can.
Yes.
Just let Andrea know.
We'll let you. We'll
Okay.
let him through.
So
Let him through.
yeah. So I'm working on I'm getting some tickets to go, and um, the lady who got me hooked up with everybody, and that was nice of her to do that from the
Mhm.
Tobin Center, and so I'm gonna work my miracles and see what I could do.
We would really be happy to see you there.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you can see it live
yes.
and there.
And you can come shake your groove.
Right.
Look
Come
at
back
you.
with
Look
us.
at you. You know, I see you're gonna have me think back to my days
Well,
when
you
she
had to
started
go
singing. I may
back.
yell out in the crowd,
Didn't you
sing that
just say
song.
We, yeah, exactly.
when we came out here, he said if you retired, just go get you a cup of coffee and put your little something in it. That's what you said.
That's exactly
So
what I
come and do
said.
your thing.
I say that all the time, every morning to them baby boomers out there. Because you're retired, that don't mean you tired.
It
Hey.
You get
yes,
out there and do your thing. Cause
exactly.
I just turned 70 years old.
What?
70.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah,
never thought.
And you doing it.
and I've been into music. My dad got us into music, and we used to call Motown music. At least I did in my head. Some of my family members disagree. I call that
Oh,
cleanup music.
yes.
You know,
I
Yeah,
can hear
it's
that.
it's still cleanup
yeah.
music.
The contours come on. Do you love me? I
Mhm.
said not today because it's
You
Saturday. I
don't
don't feel like cleaning up.
me either. See, you had that music. My mama woke me up with Anita Baker. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my cleanup
Oh,
music.
so you just a baby compared to me then.
A little bit, just a little
Okay.
baby, just a
Okay.
little bit.
So let me ask something. How do you balance storytelling with the musical performance?
Mm, that's kind of hard.
I think it's
It's just
I think it's fairly easy telling the story because her music came from her story. Um, Even from her singing what's what Precious Lord, that was church. That was
mhm.
her foundation is church, and that's where she started.
Yeah.
But even with Precious Lord, is that the song we go right into um after her mother passed?
Precious Lord. Yeah, that's about the
Yeah,
mom
so
passing.
when her mom passed, like that's when the pain in her voice started. That's when she actually released
Hmm.
the actual Aretha out. At first she was just a little Riri, but when she started experiencing loss, I
Yeah.
felt like her voice got bigger and bigger and bigger, and the balance of her story with her music is not a disconnect from it.
Right.
It just is what it is. From if you listen to her music, you will hear her story, and if you
Mhm.
hear her story, you will automatically hear her music.
Mm.
And so I feel like the balance of it is just it's one. It's not even a balance. It's just
Yeah.
one thing because she
Mhm.
went through a whole lot and you knew about it. You just didn't know that it was coming from
That deep.
her man beating her up or her
Yeah.
man being disrespectful. And she wrote this song, and then the next one treated her really good. Then she wrote that song,
Right.
and like it was just an ongoing cycle. So I feel like it was more so of a she intertwined it all.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
did it. We don't even have to do much work.
I think it's just knowing basically. Sorry, I thought somebody was at the door. Knowing what the songs are about
Hmm.
and what you're singing about. It'd be different if we were doing an actual musical. We have to play characters, we have to do character study, but we're just studying Aretha
Yeah.
and her life and her music and her voice. So it's just more of like what we're telling, carrying it into the song, not necessarily
Hmm.
like, oh, we just told y'all this. Okay, so now we're gonna sing like this because this is how she sung it. No,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. So
Wow. So I always ask this question to performers in rehearsal. What stuck out in rehearsal when somebody sung one of her songs and they hit that note? Did you get like, oh my God, did they just hit that note? Man, save that for the show. Uh oh,
Oh,
somebody turned their head.
I think I'm just biased to her because I've done it to almost every song where I'm like, I, she be pulling out some stuff. I knew she could sing, but I'd be like, you ain't do that yesterday. I, give me a
I don't
second.
know. I enjoy the fact that they are I enjoy their young interpretation of Aretha
Mhm.
because I know that the generation before be like, oh, y'all ain't been through nothing. But there is a lot more that we go through than people realize. And our interpretation of Aretha's music is not necessarily modernized, but it is structured to still have our personality in it, even though we're paying homage to her.
Mhm.
And hearing this one right here, sometimes she really does sound like a little Baptist mother. And she's only 21. So I crack up because I'm like, this, she is over here singing this song.
I'm laughing because you made a comment about what I think. I
Yeah.
didn't realize I was doing
She said, trying to make other people lose their mind. And I was just like, you are a Baptist mother, and I am okay with it.
that.
You are a baby, but you are a Baptist mother at heart. And it is hilarious watching it because she's just being in her own little lane. And I just be watching like, okay,
I'm gonna acknowledge this. I love everything, but my heart was at awe when she sung Nessun Dorma for the first time
aw.
because
Oh.
I'm a classical kid, and so I grew up in choir, but like I didn't even know. I don't know how I didn't see that performance of Aretha, but the point is, she added something at the end, and me being a soprano one in high school was living for it.
Aw.
I was like,
Oh.
yes, 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 yes.
Well, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome so much.
I
Okay, so
appreciate
I
that.
got one. I got to ask this question, both of y'all. Um, how did you start, and what led up to coming on Aretha? What auditions did you go through? Was it something that you wanted to do, or you just say, "Hey, I'm gonna go for it"?
When you say how did we start, like how did we start singing in
Yeah, how do you
general?
start in the beginning? You're
Oh,
singing. You
okay.
you weren't that one in the Baptist church singing down the aisle, were you? I was gonna ask that question because Tina Turner did that. They had to get her out of.
I was more of a shy kid. I started singing in church, but I wasn't out of my shell yet until surprisingly, I started in choir in high school, of course, well, middle school, but then I did my first musical my sophomore year, and that wrung me out of my shell because at least it was able to bring out some character and allow me to kind of relax in myself. Um, and so I've been singing ever since and then doing theater. I would say I saw this specific tour audition on Instagram randomly. Multiple people have sent it to me, and I was like, you know what? I always do video submissions. I'm gonna go record this and just submit it, not expecting to hear anything back. Because you get used to in this field, you get used to doing a lot of submissions or
Right.
auditioning, and most of the time you don't hear anything back, but you need to do it because you need to get used to it. And I got an email, and I was like, oh, well, how
Yeah.
did I call back? And next thing you know, it was meant for me. So now here we are.
Okay.
For me, I
Yes.
I sort of grew up in the performing arts and a little church. I started in theater, classically trained since I was 7. And so I went from being very, very shy, like I couldn't even say my name without crying.
Oh, babe.
But now that I have grown and matured and everything, I have my experience of music is different because I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, with all these other women that actually pulled me up with them. Like they would actually let me sing with them. They wouldn't be like, "Oh no, this is my part. You don't sing this." They would say, "You need to try to do this too." And so I had that kind of background. But this audition, I was taking a nap and I got a DM. I got a DM and somebody was like, "You need to audition for this." And I was just like, "Okay." So I got out my nap, came out, woke up. I was like, "Mom, I got to sing this song real quick." And then it won't be long. And it was a natural woman.
Mm.
And my mama was on the phone at the time. She was just like, "I'm gonna call you back. Chris got to sing real quick." And so I sang my song and I said, "Okay, thank you, mama. I'm good." And I went back in my bed. That's how I found out about the audition. And I was just like, if I get it, then it was meant for me. If I don't, it's okay. But I woke up out of a nap, and that was a good nap.
I
Oh
know it was.
wow, it was better after that. But
Okay.
what I'm hearing from both of you is you have supporters out there that's pushing
Mm.
you to go out and do this, even though
Yes.
I heard you say, "Well, I drop these off all the time and nobody never
Yeah.
responds." And
Yes.
I think it's specifically like finding the patience and loving on yourself in the highs and lows and
Yes.
allowing yourself to mess up and stuff. Because when you're focused on, I need to be here, I need to get here, this is
Yeah.
where I want to be, and not actually like enjoying the process of getting there, your
yeah,
voice is not enjoying that. Like, this
Mhm.
is what we need to take care of. And you can't sing with all that stress
Mhm.
and stuff.
mm-hmm.
No, I've
Yeah.
learned the hard way,
Mm.
and that's
Well,
okay.
I'm gonna share something with you that I go through every morning. I'm up at 5 in the morning preparing for
Oh,
my show.
Lord.
See, listen, see what I'm gonna talk about, what I'm gonna do. And before I cut on the mic, I have to go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, say everything's gonna be okay, because I am nervous
Absolutely.
every morning.
Same.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
get
just
it.
nervous until I cut that mic on and say my first verse. I'm good. But
Mhm.
Right.
getting started sometimes is
Yeah.
a